Hi guys, Jasmo here, and today I have for you another video where I'm going to reveal to you some of the closely guarded Heist Mafia secrets. I'm going to give you more strategies for optimizing Heist that you're not going to pretty much find anywhere else. I scoured all of the Heist guides and people are not really talking about these things, and you can make so much currency doing this, more than you make normally through Heist, which is already saying something. So I'm going to give you all of the tips and tricks for min-maxing and optimizing Heist and getting much more currency for the time that you're spending running it. The basic information for which contracts and blueprints to run, which rogue gear to get on specific characters, and how to get your contracts and so on. Everything is in the basic Heist guide that I released recently, and that is going to be linked in the description. So first watch that one, and then after you finished it, you're going to learn some extra information in this video. And the first thing I'm going to talk about is the fact that if you're spending any significant time in Heist, if it's not just like something you try once or twice, if it's actually a currency farming method that you want to invest in, you should probably never waste your time on running non-enchanted contracts, right? You can see every single contract I have is enchanted, and they have an extra implicit modifier, and you're like probably wondering what the hell is that? I've never seen this before. That's because it comes from a specific sextant, and if you're not using that sextant, that you're not gonna find that. That's why it's also better to source your own contracts and blueprints and farm them in maps yourself, because if you're buying them from other people, they're not going to have these enchants, because 99% of the people who are mapping out there are not using that sextant, so you're not going to be finding these enchants. So you get them through using this specific sextant modifier. You can buy the compass. At the time of making this video, this compass cost me 30 chaos. It's probably going to be higher, but it's still most likely going to be worth it because it adds immense amount of value and saves you a lot of time. So the modifier here is non-unique Heist contracts found in your maps have an additional implicit modifier, and you pair this with the area contained smuggler's cache, and you got guaranteed 3 smuggler's caches together with the map device, sometimes 4 smuggler's caches. You're going to be getting a bunch of blueprints, a bunch of coins, and most importantly the contracts that have these enchants. So every single one has these enchants. So there are 4 different types of implicits on these enchants. Number 1 is rogue perks are doubled. They each have upside and downside. This one downside has a reduced time before lockdown, which doesn't really matter. Just don't trigger the alert before you get the target and you're good. Rogue perks are doubled. For most of the rogues, doesn't really matter. It's not significant in any way to push you to run contracts that you wouldn't run otherwise. But what it does, it makes it so that Gianna actually gives you 2 reveals upon a completion of a contract. So people are paying 10C to get a deception contract. They have to run it and they get the reveal. I don't pay anything. I get this for less than 10C if I account for like the cost of the sextants and running the maps and so on, and I'm getting double the reveals per time invested. So we're getting double the reveals. It's absolutely insane. It's super powerful, and a bunch of your Gianna contracts are going to be enchanted with this implicit, which is basically going to make it so that you run less contracts and you get more reveals. Absolute save of time. So much currency is really, really good. Every single reveal on average is like 4 or 5 chaos, depends, right? So you can count it like extra 4 chaos on top of the 4 chaos that you'll be making, on top of the coins that you're getting, on top of the currency and stack decks and stuff like that you're getting from the contract. So it's very, very good. So that's number 1. On other contracts that are not Gianna contracts, this enchant basically is a blank, right? It doesn't really matter, doesn't change anything how you run it. Then we've got another one, which is rogue equipment cannot be found. That's the downside, doesn't really matter. And we got 200% more rogue marker value of primary Heist target. So this is absolutely insane. 200% more rogue marker value is going to be huge. So I'm going to show you an example of this. I'm actually going to run this contract and show you contracts we all run basically scoured, right? So this has also precious reward. If you find it on like a priceless or precious Heist target, it's going to be ridiculous, right? So this is perception 2. So I'm actually going to run this with Gianna. We're going to enter this contract, and I'm going to show you how much currency we're actually getting from this target. So I've been running these contracts for a while. I've been farming a lot of them, and I'm going to basically explain what I'm doing in here. So what I'm looking for is things that I'm going to open, right? So we have a lot of chests here, actually. We got 3 rooms, 4 chests. So I don't really want to open any small chests. We're just going to head straight toward this. We're going to open this. I'm going to actually activate my Harbinger of Time because I forgot. So we're going to do that so that he can actually give us some extra action speed, which I think it also applies to the rogues, but it's really hard to measure because they're already moving so fast. Okay, so we got a bunch of currency. This is just normally what you find in here. We got 3 more to open, doors to open. I wish you could smash through the doors and actually blast through them with like a shield charge or something. If GGG introduces that to the game, that would save the league, but alas, they're not gonna do that. Okay, we're gonna get this unveiled or revealed or whatever. We're gonna grab the cluster jewel, Viper Strike duration, not useful, and then we can open a small one. We can also enter in here, grab some more stacked decks and the divination cards, kill all these monsters. Chaotic Disposition, that's 5 chaos, 4 stacked decks, that's like 6 chaos. Getting to the end, opening this one. Another thing in certain layouts, like this is for example a layout that has a safe in it as far as I understand, as far as I remember. Yes, so you open the safes first and they take a little bit of time to open, then you get like extra stacked decks, so that's extra like 3 chaos, dense fossil, that's another chaos or 2, and then we basically run out. We open some doors on the way because this is a perception contract, so we actually do have to open some doors on the way, but it's okay. If I stand with the slipstream, she should be a little bit faster as far as I know. She doesn't have any perception action speed, I think, perception job speed. She has a lot of deception job speed because those are the main contracts that we run with Gianna, but because of the +1 item on her, like +1 to all jobs, you can also run a lot of counter thaumaturgy up to like level 4, and then you can run also the perception up to level 3. So we're gonna see how much it actually gives me in terms of the coins, and then we're gonna try to translate it to a value of chaos, which is like about 400 to 500 coins per chaos. So this gives me 6,400 rogue markers, right? So this is a bunch. This is like 15 to 20 chaos, right? This is like 16, 17 chaos, something like that, right? Just from the reward at the end, right? Plus we also get the reveal, which is additional chaos, that's like 20 chaos just for running this contract, not counting any of these things that we found, right? Which are like 7 stacked decks, that's like 11 chaos or something. So that's how much value we got out of this one. This enchant, which basically doubles the amount of, actually triples, sorry, the amount of rogue marker value that you get from the primary target, is going to add some extra contracts that you're actually going to want to run. So number 1 is going to be lockpicking. So normally you don't really want lockpicking, you don't really want to run lockpicking contracts just for the hell of it. You only run lockpicking contracts if there is a decent enchant on it, which would mean either the rogue marker value or one of the other ones which I'm gonna discuss. You don't run lockpicking if they have rogue perks are doubled, unless they have like priceless reward on this, right? So you can search here, for example, precious, right? If we search for precious, we're going to find different ones, and some of them are going to have, for example, this is perception, precious. Rogue chests are have a chance to duplicate their contents. This is something we could potentially run, even though it's not amazing, but it can have currency rooms and the precious reward, and double currency can potentially result in double divines. I've done that before because we have a trinket that is 1% chaos to divine, which is very, very powerful. But that's basically what this enchant adds. The next enchant that we have is completing a heist generates 3 additional reveals. Heist chests have 25% chance to gain to contain nothing, right? So this one will give me 3 additional reveals with Wakano. If I grab a blueprint in here, reveal blueprint details, Wakano has now 1 reveal, Gianna has now 1 reveal, so this is actually good. I'm gonna show you guys how many you get. Let's see if we can yeah, let's see if we can run actually a Gianna one, right? So we do reveals, and then we're gonna type deception, okay? So we get completing heist, generates additional, okay. So we've got a Gianna one, and I'm gonna run this one and show you how many reveals we get, right? So we've got 1 Wakano and 1 Gianna. So after running, okay, I can also run this one, right? So let's quickly run this one. This is going to be rogue perks are doubled, just so we can see, and we're also gonna confirm. Someone said that this also increases the discount. I don't think it does, but we're gonna be able to confirm that. So we're gonna be running the rogue perks are doubled deception with Gianna, and I'm gonna show you exactly again how I run the contract and what we're getting out of that at the end. A lot of people are like questioning, how can you possibly get enough currency out of these? Like, how are you sustaining your currency? How are you making enough? And on average, this is very, very easy. On average, you're actually making a lot of currency by running these contracts. Even if you're not dropping any crazy stuff, it's still very, very powerful, because this all adds up. These stack decks that you're dropping like some contracts, you're going to be getting like 15, 20 stacked decks, and it's absolutely insane, right? And you're not even counting like the rewards at the end that you're getting, which are the rogue markers. So you can see here, I just opened a couple of small chests, and this is me not being particularly lucky or anything. We got this contract with like reduced, actually I didn't notice this stack decks, but we got reduced duration. But I can show you something, reduced alert. I can show you what we can do. We can open this door. We can open this one as well. Right, you can even like pre-click this once to break the glass, right? And what we're gonna do is we're gonna just go to here, we're gonna click on this, and we're gonna rush. We got 11 seconds, and we can very comfortably, with our movement speed, pick up the target and then comfortably come back, right? And we can pick up these stack decks and then vanity, whatever divination cards drop out of that. So because this is deception contract, we're able to run out of it very, very quickly. And now Gianna should show that she has 3 reveals for us, which would be absolutely insane, right? So in this amount of time, we're getting a couple of reveals. So Wakano has 2 because he gained 1, because whenever you run a Gianna contract, you also get a Wakano reveal. And Gianna has 3. So it worked. The discount is still at 45 in here. I don't think it applies anything special. But now let's run the other one, which is we've got a deception here with completing a heist generates 3 additional reveals. So this should give me 4 Wakano reveals as well as the 1 Gianna reveal, right? So the drawback of this one is that you are actually getting 25% of your chests contain nothing, right? So you're gonna be opening some small chests, some big chests, and there's gonna be nothing popping out of them, and that's absolutely fine because it takes you very little time to do anyway, right? So we don't really care about that. If there is no stack decks dropping out of this, that's fine, right? There are stack decks, so that's cool. So we don't really worry about that too much. This is just on average still going to be very much worth running because you're saving yourself running a bunch of other contracts, and instead of running those, you can run blueprints and make more currency, right? So minimizing the amount of time you need to spend of like running your contracts in order to get reveals is also very, very helpful. You can see how quickly we're moving out of here. The build has like 500 movement speed. If you wanna check out the build, check out my latest video. It's all in there. So we're gonna look at this guy again, at Wakano, and he got 6 reveals. So from 2, he went to 6. We actually got extra reveals, and on Gianna, we got 4 reveals now, right? So absolutely ridiculous. We got 1 for this guy, and we got 3 for this guy, right? Really, really huge. So these contracts are absolutely insane. Let's drop the currency in here, and let's talk about the other enchants that we also have, because there are 2 remaining, and they are also very, very powerful and change which contracts you want to run. Actually, 1 remaining, sorry. So this is the completing heist generates additional reveals, and the last one remaining, perhaps the most exciting, is actually the Heist Chest have 100% chance to duplicate their contents, but monsters have double life, right? So this one is absolutely insane. This one actually pushes so many contracts to be like possible to run. This makes engineering contracts worth running. This makes actually demolition contracts worth running, lockpicking contracts worth running, and then all the other contracts which you would normally run, you would also run, right? So the reason why this is so powerful is because whenever you have a trinket, for example, that converts chaos to divine, you're going to be basically guaranteed double divines, right? So it's absolutely insane if you actually do that. So anything that drops currency is going to be very strong. And then demolition has also very, very good rewards, and engineering is something that is very underrated, and I'm going to talk about that because this is something that a lot of people are missing. So maybe we're not going to get the map one, but hopefully we get it. So we're going to pick Isla, because even if I could pick Vindiri, the chance to double the loot doesn't count from him, right? It doesn't stack above 100%. He doesn't like double the doubled loot. You can basically double the loot only once. It doesn't give you triple or quadruple loot chance. So that's why you want to pick Isla, so that you can open as as many chests as possible. So basically run to the good one, and then on your way back you open everything and then you exit the contract. So hopefully we get the map one, because the map one is ridiculously broken if you get like an influenced map or something like that. So let's see if you have it here. We've got the map one. Okay, so this is awesome. This is going to serve as a nice example. You don't always get it, but whenever you get it, it's a potential for a very nice payday. So I'm going to run to the end, and we are not interested in the target from this one. We're not going to run this until the end. I can open, for example, this door. I can open this. We're getting double the loot from every single chest, including the small one. And then the maps are so powerful. If you get something influenced, it's crazy. If you get it, you can get it doubled from so many different things. You get sextants, which are very expensive now. However, as you can see, there's a boss here, and the boss has insane amount of HP. So this was like worst case scenario, okay? Worst case scenario, and we got 4 T16 maps. T16 maps are right now, what is it, 4 chaos? So this is like 12 chaos that we got out of this. Absolute worst case scenario. But you're also gonna be getting sextants. You're gonna be getting regular map drops from other small boxes. You're going to be getting currency, because we're not done with this. We got 8 stack decks. That's like 12 chaos here, right? We got Val orbs, Jeweler's orbs. We got all kinds of stuff. You can also get uniques. If some kind of a valuable unique drops, this is also doubled. So I dropped, for example, here is Ire, which was like 30 chaos. That gave me 60 chaos instead, right? So any type of a good drop that happens, it's going to be doubled, and it's going to be absolutely ridiculous. So we can open more small chests, again, double chaos. So just like casually dropping chaos, alchemies, all kinds of small and bubblegum currency, which is very, very powerful. So that's the power of these, right? Even though I didn't really get anything lucky at all, we still made a bunch of currency out of this one, right? So, and it's very quick to run them as well. You don't have to do anything special. So discounting this, what do we get out of this? We got 6 chaos, 2 enkindling orb, 8 stack decks, which is like 12 chaos. We got a ton of different bubblegum currency, which really adds up over time, and you're gonna be selling it for divines. So this is just from this contract, right? Oh, plus also, you know, like 12C of maps or something like that. So this is super, super powerful. So again, you get these by using these charged compasses and sextants, and that's when it comes to the contracts, basically. Now I'm gonna say another thing that I didn't explain properly, I think, in the previous video about the blueprints. So the blueprint, you might have noticed that I have in here. I don't know if it was visible, but it's actually insane. This one has 10 currency rewards, which for someone with a good trinket is just amazing, right? You really want to target the blueprints with a lot of currency rewards. It also has 4 div card rewards and 6 fragment rewards. The fragment rewards are actually pretty decent, right? The fragment rewards actually give you a ton of scarabs, a ton of fragments. People really undervalue these. So the order in which you want to open these chests, right, and reveal them. I've heard someone say like you only reveal the div card rooms and don't reveal anything else in blueprints. This couldn't have been further from the truth. Don't listen to that. Reveal currencies, reveal div cards, and reveal maps as well. And then you also want to reveal other ones if you have, for example, depending on the number of the rooms per wing. So I'm going to show you that in practice. But first, before I do that, I'm going to actually tell you what to do if you have a blueprint that is like this, right? Insane blueprint. I would really love to get tons of blueprints like this. What we're going to do is I'm going to regal it so that it's rare, and then I'm going to actually fracture it. So what you do is you get a fractured fossil, which costs like 35 chaos. You put it in a resonator, which costs like 2 chaos, and you get a blueprint. You can only copy it, you can only split it if this is not revealed yet. Once you reveal it, you cannot copy it, right? So make sure to check your blueprints before revealing them, if they're really good. If they're really good like this, if they have like huge amount of rewards, let's say they have like 7 currency, 5 div card, and a map room or something like that, right? And they're like on a good base, like replicas or gems or something. Those are insane, right? Those are definitely worth splitting. They're worth way more than 40 chaos. They're way more than 50 chaos. So we're gonna go, and now we're gonna reveal them. So now we have 2 of them, right? So this is awesome. We just doubled the insane amount of stuff we have. So we're gonna reveal with Gianna. I'm actually not gonna have enough reveals, but I'm just gonna show you what I would reveal, right? So with Gianna, you wanna reveal the big wings first, right? So we reveal all the big wings first, and then we swap to Akano, and then we reveal all the other good stuff. So in this one, I would go for currency, then I would go for 3 stack decks, right? I would reveal these 3 stack decks. Depending on the rogues that you can assign, you could also reveal this one, right? Depending on the rogues, but usually 4 rooms is like the amount that you can comfortably open. 5 is pushing it depending on the rogues, right? So in here, I would just reveal that. And since I have like 5 great rooms already, I'm not gonna be revealing the fragments. But if I'm looking at this, for example, right, I would reveal the currency, then I would reveal the div cards, and then I would reveal at least one of the fragments. Because this fragment one, it costs like, what is it? It costs like 3 chaos to reveal this for me, right? And I'm going to be pulling out much more than that out of this most of the time, right? It's only a matter of how many you can realistically open. Because if you look at the cost of fragments, like for example, Mortal Ignorance, right, which is something you can find, that's 25 chaos, right? These are all like 4 or 5 chaos. These are not worth much, but you're going to be dropping scarabs. You're going to be continuously dropping like, okay, Gilded Harpy Scarab is like 2 chaos, right? So it's already almost pays for the thing, right? So reveals for these fragments are also worth it. If you have like absolutely nothing in here, you could also reveal Harpy, because you're going to be getting Harpy orbs, ancient orbs, annuls. Annuls were like 10 chaos. Let's see how much are annuls right now. They're still like 10 chaos. Ancient orbs, how much are they? They're like 9-10 chaos as well, right? So annuls drop pretty frequently out of these, so I would definitely reveal Harpy if you don't have anything else. So the priority, I would say, currency number 1, and divination cards close second as well, depending on if you have a trinket or not. If you have a trinket for chaos to divine, then currency is the number 1 priority over anything else. Then we got divine cards, then we got maps. Maps are super powerful. Those are like number 2 or number 3, like together with the divine cards. Probably the maps are actually better. And if you don't have a trinket, the maps might potentially be actually the best room to reveal by far, right? Because you're only paying, again, you're only paying like 3 chaos to reveal these, right? You're only paying like 3 chaos to reveal these, but you're getting way more than that. Like 1 T16 map is already worth more than that. It's a no-brainer. The map ones are absolutely ridiculous, right? And then the number 4 is going to be like fragments. Number 5 is going to be Harpy, but fragments and Harpy only if you don't have at least like 3 or 4 other good rewards, right? Because that's what it's predicated on. And then I'm also gonna talk about maybe the rogues, because I'm not sure if I covered that correctly. But in terms of the rogues, let me see if I have like a fully revealed blueprint. Actually, there is a heist broker in here. Thank you very much. So do I have some kind of a fully revealed? Okay, this is a fully revealed blueprint. So we can assign people in here. And here's what I would like, right? So number 1 priority, Vendiri. Number 2, Karst. Number 3, Nanette, right? So we're looking for Vendiri because duplicating the loot allows you to open fewer chests and get more loot. So this is always awesome. If you ever drop a divine, you're gonna have a chance to duplicate that, so it's awesome. Then we want to have alert reduction, so that's gonna be Tulina in here. And then we're gonna have even more alert reduction. Unfortunately, he doesn't have 4 agility. He can only go up to 3 with the +1 item. So this would be Tulina, this would be Vendiri, and this would be either Isla or Hack, whatever you prefer. I would pick Isla for the extra alert so that I can open an extra chest. Here we would go again, Vendiri by default, Tibbs for opening extra chests, and Karst for the most reduction, because Karst offers you 45% less, and then it often offers you 23% less raising of alerts, so Karst is the better one. Here we go with Vendiri because it's the only option. Here we go with probably Isla. Hack, I don't really ever take him, but you could, like, there's a niche strategy for farming XP with him, but this is not something we do in blueprints. And then we go with the only one we can, which is the Tulina, right? So that's how we would reveal this one. And then in terms of the rolling of them, right? Rolling them is something that depends on how many rooms you have in them, how many rewards. So you can see this one doesn't have that many, right? I have like a room with like 2 map rewards or a room with whatever. So this one, I would be totally happy just run even like this, right? Even white. But the minimum that you want to do, if you want to reduce some alert, you want to alk it, and you want to look at the line that says alert level reduction, and you get like plus 16% in here, right? So then you can look at the mods, right? If the mods are not dangerous, like minus max res, like cursed with vulnerability, like alert is being generated every second, stuff like that, or like less recovery of mana, for example, per alert. That can mess you up as well. So make sure that you're running something that doesn't brick your build, right? Like for example, less effect of auras is also very bad, but this is totally fine, right? This has like all damage from monster ignites. I'm immune to ignite. Reward rooms have more monsters. We don't care. Patrol packs take reduced damage. We don't care. We don't have to kill anything. And the ring takes no cats. So I think we just get spend less coin, right? So that's how I would roll them. And hopefully that covers it. Perhaps now you know much more about Heist than before, and hopefully this fills in some of the blanks and allows you to min-max your Heist much more and not be one of those people that just buys 10, like just scams themselves buying 10 chaos deception contracts and then running these, getting one reveal at a time instead of getting 2 or 4 reveals, and then they're running blueprints that are like scoured by people. And then let's say I'm gonna go through my blueprints, there's like a bunch of other blueprints, and there are ones that I run that are like these, right, super juicy, and then the ones that are, let's say, like let me give you a bad example. Okay, something like this, right? That's what I'm gonna sell to people, right? That's what I'm gonna go on TFT and sell, and people are gonna be getting this and running this for no reason. You should farm your own stuff because you get the enchanted stuff, you get way better choice of blueprints, you can split them yourself, and you're gonna get much more currency out of that. So hopefully this has been helpful and exhaustive. Thank you so much for watching, and happy stealing. See ya.